Want to find out how this half of the month is panning out for your zodiac sign and how to get the best out of it? Come and join YILDIZ Readings 5D and we'll have a look. A very warm welcome to YILDIZ Readings 5D. For those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. I cover astrology, soul coaching, twin flame path and more. I am live weekly, so please click the bell and subscribe. And if you do want more creative content like this, come and join the tribe. Additionally, we have the members zone, so if you do want the creative content early and have a coaching room, we do have the join button. For all booking information, the link is directly below. Without further ado, let's get into the update for your zodiac sign for your bi-monthly report. For all the dates, retrogrades and aspects occurring, as well as the great days and the difficult days, I have created a report after this update for your zodiac sign, and it is incorporated inside. You can stream forward now, or let's jump into your update. Hi Taurus, we're going to have a look at your romance house, your career, your family, your emotions, your health and more. And we also have a chakra report towards the end of the video that is going to help you guide through the moon phases. Now this will incorporate chakra, balance, well-being themes that can play out, as well as we do have the separate astrology aspects, the must-know days, the great days, the hard days, and all the things you need to know. So next up is romance for couples, singles, twin flames. My beautifuls, now your romance is set to trot this month, and there can be a lot of brand new beginnings coming through for your zodiac sign. Now I do feel from both from an astrological point of view and from the transits for this bi-monthly report, I do feel a lot of you are coming to terms with connections from the past. This can also be to do with the things that you had hidden from yourself, that you believed you needed to be, especially because we do have Juno retrograde. So if you were entering into connections, dealing with them and being really reflective and maybe even a little bit moody, it's perfectly normal. As we move to mid-month, this can intensify because we do have Mars and Cancer. So yes, with your throat chakra, you do need to be careful, but you will find through journaling, through your daily routine, emotions can come up, and it is a lot of conditioning. And I'm really noticing with the astrology at the moment, and especially inside your zodiac sign, you're going to find by the time we reach the new moon, which is falling in your first house, it's occurring on the 11th of May 2021, your style, the way you're showing up, how you're presenting yourself can really be evolving and changing. And you may not be holding on so tightly onto false beliefs. And it's not necessarily that they were false, it's that you've changed. So through changing, they do become the old. And it's really giving it the grace of what it was relevant to at that time, but then releasing it and being open to new experiences. Now that can be with the current partner you're with. And that is, you know, for all of us collectively at the moment, we're going to be really having all our connections under the microscope, and that is as well as the things that we invest in, both financially, emotionally and spiritually. So for your zodiac sign, I feel initially you may have been looking at maybe how the other person felt, but now I feel you're really looking at how you feel at this point. And it's a very personal transit when it hits the first house. It may be a bit tense for the first 2 weeks, but as we move towards the new moon, I feel through that next 2 week cycle, you're really integrating those changes, and your self-esteem can be building. I do feel you're looking at your appearance and you're looking at the way you attract partners. But I really feel a lot of you are needing a deeper commitment, but you also are not wanting to be controlled. So we're looking at the polarity of creating that balance in order to have a more successful union. I also feel there can be communication coming through from individuals that will trigger you, and that can be through family related dynamics, but it's also the communication crosswise can occur. We may be very forthright, especially through your zodiac sign, so just bear that in mind when it comes to your daily routine. Emotions can run high, especially if you've got too much on your plate. And if you are in a connection and you feel you've got too much on your plate, I think the key to it is really explaining these things. Now, definitely from the bigger picture, you may feel the foundation in your life needs to shift. But before we go any further, I will incorporate that part inside the family and the home. Last but not least, I would say around this time, and especially by the 2-week mark, a lot of you can be having communication from people from the past, and a lot of skeletons in the closet can be coming out, especially in the domain of love and romance. Now, it is in the 7th house, and Scorpio in nature is very 8th house placement. This can be the stability, the intimacy. It's very underrealm. It can also mimic a little bit of a shadow energy. But this can be a very positive thing. The old theory is skeletons in the closet can come out during this time, but whatever is revealed, be it our darkest, most intimate secrets, or it's a revelation from somebody telling us that they love us, it's going to really reshape that road forward. But we are leaving old energy behind. It can feel a little bit emotional. And we can build these deeper connections with individuals and hear from people from the past. Now, a lot of people ask me, is it a bad thing to reconnect with loved ones from the past? During a Mercury retrograde. Now, Mercury is going into retrograde by mid-month, and yes, it's not bad. 9 times out of 10, these are soul contracts. They're things that need to be cleared up. They always are new and different, but it's always the way you directly handle it, which is key. So it's really taking that time to really work through the communication style, see where both parties are at, to then make the choice, during that process. But it's more than likely decisions will be made as Mercury goes direct. This also, for those of you on the fence, can be a testing time inside of connections. If you're more prone to fights within the home, this can amplify it and really cause cracks in the system. This also can be really signing of paperwork. This can be legacies. If you're already in the midst of a separation, this can really push that situation forward, get you to go back to the table, reading over the fine print, looking at the value systems, and seeing, you may be second guessing that. Again, because it does link to the 8th house and the 9th house. So if you're second guessing connections, it's perfectly normal. Use the time to reflect upon it. But a lot of paperwork can be linked to that. Now, really read the fine print. And I don't feel anything negative in relation to it. But it can be where these things are, gone over in a reflective sense. And it can be in the aftermath effect of after a separation, for those of you who that's relevant. Separately, I can say that it is a repair time. If we can repair connections, this is the time to do such, or this is where we may end that cycle. As I mentioned, we're going to have a look at the realm of family, which those of you who are married, have children, or even single who have your soul path going on, as well as family commitments, we're going to have a look at that realm. Now, I will say this can be a super busy time for you guys in the realm of family, home, and commitments in your day-to-day routine. Some of you may be working extremely hard in those areas and be multitasking. We can be a little bit more verbal in relation to this. And this also can be a very testing time. And I really, I'm pre-warning everyone that Mars in Cancer is in its detriment. Number one, because it's Mars, we will have energy to deal with it. But we also can have feelings towards feminine energies, past tense childhood related modes, as well as with our own children and what we're trying to achieve. So be it's where you can have a lot of headaches during this time as well. So, try and keep grounded and understand that communication is going to be the key. Although in this realm with Mars and Cancer, we may speak lovingly and want to sugarcoat things and be more romanticized with things, but come mid-month as Mercury goes retrograde, the communication style can be a little bit more triggering. Do be in awareness that if your family have value systems relating to stability, this can accidentally be projected towards you at this time. Also, if it is towards your foundation and what you should be doing, be it's with your assets, your money, your stability, again, themes to do with such can come up. For some of you, there can be subjects relating to grandparents, legacies and inheritance. And really having the time to reflect upon such, this can bring it full circle, especially if this is something that occurred in 2020. Some of these themes to do with the give and take and sharing of resources might have come up in 2020 for you, and it's really evolving and it has transformed over. So you may need a little bit of a break to observe such in order to see the path forward. The commitments in the area of family may be quite exacerbated, and that's because you can have, again, a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders, a lot of things you're trying to achieve, a lot of cycles you're trying to tie up. So whatever it be, really pace yourself through the first 2 weeks of April. I do find that this could be a very lucrative time. You do have luck on your side, so it's a great time for wins. Overall, with family, try not to think on things too much. They can really be the place of our undoing. Really get to the bottom of things if you don't understand what's going on. But many of you, I do feel you just really... this can even be conversations in relation to the past. I feel for some of you, whoever your nearest and dearest are, I feel you'll be more inclined to discuss private matters with them. But you are going to be more selective about who you speak with. Now, home level, it is important to keep organised, and this is to help you moving forward. You're going to have more time freed up and less stress if you can keep that area balanced. Let's have a look at career and then money for you, Taurus. I do feel many of you in the career sector can be using this month to really change the way you show up. This can be really gaining self-esteem, changing the way you look in your dress sense. This can be changing your demeanor, putting a lot more effort into those areas. For some of you, you may be seeking new employment. Otherwise, very separately, it could be that you're really changing things up and had a discovery inside of yourself. This can be self-esteem and false thoughts, whereby achieving some of these areas and moving beyond the wound, we can become extremely successful. I also feel some of you have an idea and have a window to a new beginning. And if you're really not happy with your work, this opportunity at this point with astrology is showing us potentially what 2022 can be. And what I mean by that is if we are really disliking the industry we're working in and we have a really great idea in innovation, with Jupiter in the house of Pisces in your 11th house, this can be a very lucrative time for you. So any little step you've taken, especially if you have been working very hard, you can start to see the benefits financially at this point. Any steps you take in career progression and networking also can be great steps moving forward. I do feel many of you can be doing a lot of running around, and there can be a lot more busyness, and I do see this is set to really increase. And it's quite ironic, I always find during Mercury retrograde, especially in its own house, always amplifies these things. It can be a very a testing time, but it can create more energy. So it's going to show you what the stability is. If you're running a business, it's a time of quality control, and it can become extremely hectic. So you will find it to be more financially beneficial than not. But do expect delays and crosswise, and make sure you read all your fine print. It's really, really a good time to look at your budget and change things around. We're going to quickly have a look at the area of finances. When it does come to applying for new jobs, it would be the first 2 weeks. That's due to the fact we're going to have Mercury retrograde. We have just moved away from the full moon in Scorpio, which is a large area for you to move forward. I would say really read the fine print of what the responsibilities will be, because we do have Aquarius in the 10th house. Make sure it's suiting your life and your obligations. Make sure you don't overburden yourself. So even if you're currently working and whatever you're dealing with right now, under offer, then we're able to over deliver. Let's have a look at your finances, both expenses and incoming potentials. Okay, now the area of money, I do feel many of you may be having more expenses relating to your daily routine. Now this can be travel, this can be telecommunications, internet. Really important to check your paperwork this month. Even though we aren't a Mercury retrograde, there can be some things where you can fine tune them. This can be having a coffee on the run, where we're really quality assessing our daily routine. I also feel this is a brand new opportunity for you guys to bring in more income. And this also can be surrounding your creative projects and children. Some of you, there may be added expenses in these domains, and especially in the travel element and for family. I do feel there could be extra commitments there, so save a little bit behind so that on the socialization level, by mid-month, you're able to go out and socialize. I do feel some of you on the home zone may be having some expenses linking to white goods, and that can be upgrading things of a nature of comfort. This also can be security and luxury items for loved ones that can be surprises. This can be a very lucky time for wins, and it also at a separate level can be a time when we're reassessing and planning for big expenses. Now this can be for upskilling, it can be for travel, it can be you advertising. It's a really great time to look at the bigger picture, what those hopes and dreams are, and really allocating this time, and you'll find it's naturally going to come up. That you start having these things come up and you're like, right, okay, X date, really looking for a holiday. And this can be a most recent thing that can potentially be coming through. Just make sure your schedule's cleared so you can do those things. Now, many of you are looking at the bigger picture, so if you had been spending quite a bit, I do see you making a plan. And this can be really, making sure your insurances, your taxation and your paperwork's all up to date. Really look back to 2020 and see around May what themes were going on around that time, and that can be May, June. Some of these themes may be closing out and having a brand new beginning, but there can be commonalities that do come up at this time. So it could be a little area to view at this point in time. Let's have a look at your health and then onto emotions. Overall for health, let's have a look. Now I can say be careful of your throat chakra. You do have third house there with Mars. If you're having to repeat yourself and you've got family or children, you may have a little bit of throat chakra related dynamics. So eating the food groups in this area can help balance that out. I also feel with your self-esteem, it can be building. Really great time to be having that fantastic good talk to yourself. And this is from a healthy polarity. Many of you can be trying to balance out your diet and your nutrition, but also the way you are showing up in the world. This can be your hair, your style, your well-being, your vitality. So, try not to wear yourselves out, especially when it does come to your day-to-day routine. Have some time to get grounded after each cycle in the day, where you can have a little bit of time to meditate. You also may have some friends that are driving you a little bit of crazy this month. So be patient, try to avoid those areas. Others of you may be even reconnecting with individuals that you feel more like-minded with. Now we do have Uranus and Taurus at the moment, which can affect our crown chakra and nervous system. So eating food groups relating to that area, really great time with Mars and Cancer to be checking and having fem checks. It can be ovaries and areas as such. But again, whenever you are feeling that you need to get it checked, do so and seek a professional. Now this next part links to the 1st all the way through to the 19th to give you the moon energy, how those moons can affect you and what chakras will come up. Okay, beautiful Taurus, from the 1st to the 2nd you have base chakra, and that's due to the fact the moon is transiting Capricorn. We also could have our emotions feeling triggered in relation to what is happening in the globe. Looking at your base chakra and your stability as well as your values, they may be clashing with other individuals. Sit with the energy and understand things are shifting. But it doesn't mean we're unsafe and we're not valued. From the 3rd to the 4th, we have the moon transiting Aquarius. For you, this can be any area of the work you're putting in, your social responsibilities, and how you are coping with the stress levels. Are you overburdening yourself? Do people expect too much from you? Especially because you do have the new moon occurring this month in your 1st house, you may be seeing things very differently. So I would highly advise, as I mentioned in the health area, eating food groups that balance our nervous system so we don't become tense, and also base chakra. From the 5th to the 6th, we have a beautiful area here. Now, trusting in the process, really reconnecting with people we know, connecting in with our soul purpose will feed our soul. If this area is unhighlighted and we aren't working in that area, our soul may crave this connection. Really tap into guided meditation, crown chakra, and your expansion in life. Feel free to fly like a bird. Although your energy will be playing out this way, we also need to practically look at our social responsibility. So achieving those things, making time for self. Now, from the 7th to the 9th, taking time to meditate. Now, this can be a testing time. You might have a lot on your mind. If you do find that this is building up for you, practice effective communication. And it's when we're feeling triggered, taking deep breaths, holding it for a moment, which can add lightheadedness, which can actually help us get grounded again, and then releasing it. I do feel this is a positive area for you actually tackling things when it does come to analytics and thought, but you may feel a little bit foggy. I would advise getting the base chakra balanced, trying to balance the sacral chakra of anger and aggression if it does come up, and the third eye. Now, from the afternoon of the 9th through to the 12th, we do have the moon transiting Taurus. Now, the new moon is occurring on the 11th of May, 2021. This for you is first house placement, but it also is heart chakra. It's very Venus in energy. So, yes, we can clear the heart chakra and the high heart chakra at this time, during this moon phase, and also be understanding that these things are changing, we are changing, and just be mindful that it's first house. So we can, if we're triggered, come off very strict, but many of you can just need a couple of days to really integrate it, and you can be deeply reflective. So I would say heart chakra and crown chakra. Now, from the 13th to the 14th, we have the moon transiting Gemini. This also falls in your second house. You may have emotions really connecting in with your income, what you're doing, really working extremely hard. Try to keep grounded, break it down in processes, and you'll be able to achieve the best. Also be very careful with your throat chakra and your third eye. So again, you can eat food groups relating to these areas, keeping balanced, and when unhinged and ungrounded, taking our shoes off and doing breathing exercises. From the 15th to the 17th, we have the moon transiting Cancer. Now, Mars is in the house of Cancer, and this does connect to your third house. So again, I would say throat chakra and third eye. And the reason I say that is because A, it's in the area of transport and your day-to-day routine and your intuition and thought. I would really also advise your solar plexus, and this can be if you're feeling very sluggish and tired and you're wanting to have a bit of a nap. Doing such in that area and keeping your nutrition at a good quality level will help you deal with this week. From the afternoon of the 17th through to the 19th, we have the moon transiting Leo. This is heart chakra, and there can be themes relating to our family, our home, our environment, our daily routine. So keeping balanced, you can be getting really fit, try not to overdo it, and eat healthy in that area and try not to overexert thyself. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, this is your bi-monthly energy update astrologically. Now, I am going to mention the tedious energies of where the placements are. Okay, we do have the new moon occurring on the 11th in the house of Taurus. The sun also currently is in Taurus, and it will enter Gemini on the 20th. Mercury is in the house of Taurus, and it will be entering the house of Gemini on the 9th and going into shadow retrograde by mid-month. Mars also is in the house of Cancer until June the 11th, so bear that in mind when it comes to your emotions. We're also going to be having Venus in Taurus up until the 9th, where it will transit into the house of Gemini. That can be where we are going to be super busy, but we will need this flexibility to be playful and to be ourselves and not be controlling. We're also towards mid-month 26 going to be having the total lunar eclipse in the house of Sagittarius. Now, the Astrology Big Boss states is the place where you need to be mindful of retrogrades and major transits. Jupiter will be entering the house of Pisces on the 13th of May 2021, and it can give you themes of what's going to happen in 2022. So it's a very important time to be having a look at those areas. Now, we will start feeling Saturn going into shadow by about the 15th, but you can potentially feel it earlier. It is occurring on the 23rd of May, and it will go direct of the 1st. Pluto is also in retrograde in the house of Capricorn until the 6th of October. We also have, last but not least, Mercury in Gemini going into shadow by mid-month in the house of Gemini. So a lot of action, a lot of movement, some frustration, pre-warned, forearmed. Now, for your astrology best boss dates, we do have the 9th. Allow love to be fluid and be playful. On the 11th, deep clearing of emotions through actions and relations and relationships. On the 13th, make your dreams come true with beautiful aspects to Neptune. On the 1st to the 15th, get your resumes out and hold on to your hats as Mercury goes into shadow retrograde. Now, these are the astrology hard boss dates, but they're also very quickly some things to be very mindful of during this month and beyond. With Mars in Cancer, we can be guided to be quite emotional, and if we're suppressing things, we can be more upset and aggressive in nature. We also, with Mercury going retrograde, can have some confusion and need to slow down, especially when traveling. Cross all the T's, dot all the I's, and breathe. Now, the 2nd of May, caution with speech and travel, but be on the ball. On May the 11th, emotions and triggers can get the best of us, so try to avoid control. With Pluto and Capricorn retrograde until the 6th, we can feel a little bit nervous when it does come to endings and be coming to term with those things. Use it as a quality system. On the 14th, plan ahead, double check and read all your documents, keep your receipts as Mercury in the house of Gemini goes into shadow retrograde. Yes, we do have additional updates during the week, which is the Psychic Love Updates, live every Friday, Western Australian time. Now, here is the website should you wish to have a booking. Very easy to navigate through. The link is directly below. There is also an informative video to give you instructions of how to use the website. Again, if you do have any issues, inbox me and I can help you navigate through. We do have various readings, which is video, Skype, email, and any other real areas that you wish to have. Just inbox me as per request, as well as emergency bookings. Very separately, I do update you via the website, so if you do sub the website, you get notifications as to specials. See you live on Friday for the Twin Flame update, Western Australian time. For America, it will be Thursday PM. Take care.